You never expect the course of your life to change in a single moment. But sometimes it does. It happened to me in a place I'd walked through 100 times before, the hospital where I worked. But that day was different. That day, something, someone, would change everything. There was chaos around me, doctors rushing, alarms blaring. A man had just been brought in unconscious. A serious accident. We were transferring him to the operating room when suddenly he grabbed my hand, tightly. He wouldn't let go. "Doctor, he's holding me," I called out in panic. The doctor gave a soft smile and replied, "It's just a reflex. It happens sometimes. The medication will relax his muscles soon." But it didn't feel like just a reflex. As I looked down at him, this stranger with bandages on his face and a tube helping him breathe, I felt something strange. Like I was being pulled into his orbit. Like we were two magnets, drawn together by something bigger than both of us. They said his name was Will. He was in a coma, yet somehow, he had already made me feel something I hadn't in a long time. Peace, warmth, a connection that made no logical sense. I stayed by his side, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. "I don't even know your name," I whispered. "But somehow, I feel like I've known you forever." That night, I sat beside him for hours. I talked to him about my life, my dreams, the way I sometimes felt invisible to everyone around me, but not to him. Even in silence, I felt seen. And every time I tried to leave, his hand would tighten around mine. Then came her, his fiancée. She walked in, all dressed up, perfect makeup, phone in hand. The kind of woman you'd expect a man like Will to be with. But she wasn't there for love. She was there for money. "He still has to finish the house," she said coldly. "He promised to send my parents on a cruise." I couldn't believe it. She wasn't praying for his health. She was planning her future without him. And when the doctors told her he might not wake up, she tried to shove a wedding ring on his finger, right there, just to secure her place in his will. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. Instead, I stayed, quietly, holding his hand, hoping he could feel the difference. That night, I whispered everything. How I didn't feel worthy of love until I met him. How his touch, even unconscious, made me feel alive again. "I know it's crazy," I said, "but I need you to know this. If you can hear me, if there's even the tiniest piece of you that knows I'm here, fight your way back. And when you do, I'll be here." I must have dozed off, still holding his hand. We stayed like that until morning. And then, something happened. He opened his eyes. Barely. Softly. But he looked straight at me and whispered, "Cindy, thank you for holding my hand." I froze. He had heard me. Every word. He remembered. And then, he smiled. A real smile. And I realized something at that moment. This wasn't a fairy tale. This wasn't about being saved or rescuing a prince. This was love. Raw, unexpected, unexplainable love. Born in the quiet hours beside a hospital bed. He asked me for cheesecake. "The one from across the street," he said. "I used to dream about it." I laughed and said, "Me too." A few weeks passed. He got stronger every day. We had coffee together every morning, talked about everything and nothing. He told me how he remembered hearing my voice before waking up, how it felt like someone had dropped a light into the darkness. He said it was me. I didn't know what to say, but I knew what I felt. And soon, I told him the truth. "I think I fell in love with you before I even heard your voice." He smiled, reached for my hand and said, "I think I woke up because of you. Life is full of unexpected turns. We fall, we break, we heal. Sometimes the heart finds love in the most unlikely places, like beside a man in a coma who won't let go of your hand. And that's how I met the love of my life. I'm Cindy, and this is our love story.